Sylvia woke up in the middle of the night, and what she saw left her breathless. Before we get into this story, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future posts. Now, enjoy. Sylvia was a young pastry chef from Verona, famous for her wedding cakes that seemed to come from a dream. Her passion for pastry making was born when she was a child, when she helped her grandmother Leah prepare traditional desserts in their small kitchen. Leah had been a pivotal figure in the young woman's life, instilling in her not only a love of cooking, but also a strong work ethic and the determination to follow her dreams. The young woman had opened her own bakery 5 years earlier, and success had not been long in coming. Every cake she created was a work of art, and her name was beginning to make its way into the competitive wedding cake industry. Yet his dedication to his work came at a price. Over the past few months, he had begun to notice that his vision was gradually blurring. At first, he attributed the problem to overwork and stress, but he soon realized that the situation was getting worse. She decided to hide her symptoms from her husband, a loving and caring man who had always supported her dreams. Enrico was her spool, her partner in everything, but Sylvia knew that if he found out about her condition, he would insist that she slow down or even close the bakery temporarily. And that was something Sylvia could not afford to do. She had invested too much time and money in her business, and failure would be unbearable. The situation reached a critical point when she received an important order. The daughter of a renowned entrepreneur in the city had chosen her to make the wedding cake. It was an extraordinary opportunity to attract new customers and grow her business. On the morning of the event, Sylvia was meticulously decorating the cake. Her hands moved almost instinctively, but her blurry vision couldn't capture the details clearly. With much effort, she managed to complete the cake and carried it to the ballroom. When she got there, she met with Viviana, the mother of the bride, who was supervising every aspect before the big moment. When Viviana saw the cake, her reaction was one of complete disbelief. "This must be a joke. This can't be the wedding cake." "That's not what we agreed upon. Look at that decoration," she exclaimed indignantly. The embarrassed girl couldn't see the details of the cake to understand what was wrong. Unable to solve the problem on her own, she called Margarita, a pastry chef friend, who came to her rescue. Margarita managed to perform an emergency intervention and redo the decoration of the cake. It was then that she decided to face her fear and consult a doctor. After a series of tests, the verdict was clear. A tumor in her pituitary gland was pressing on her optic nerves, causing her blindness. The only chance to regain some of her vision was surgery. The doctor's words echoed in Sylvia's mind like an ominous echo. She finally had a diagnosis after months of darkness and lack of answers. The world had formed in a tangle of shadows, but now she had hope. Her husband Enrico held her hand tightly. "Dear, there is finally hope." "When can you do this surgery, doctor?" he asked, his eyes shining with expectation. But the girl's answer was hard and decisive. "Never. I will not do any surgery," she declared. The painful memory of the operation that had led to the death of his beloved grandmother Leah 5 years earlier was still too fresh in his mind. Leah had undergone a hernia operation considered of low complexity, but had never left the operating room. That night, something extraordinary happened. He dreamed of being in a wonderful garden, full of flowers of the most varied colors, a beauty that he had never seen before. In the center of that garden, he found his dear grandmother, Leah. "Life is full of colors, my dear. Don't let the shadow of fear keep you in the dark. Everything will be okay, Leah said in her soft, reassuring voice. The woman woke up from that vivid dream and hugged Enrico. If you like this story, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Let's go do the operation. There's a colorful flower I need to see, she declared, with a sense of hope she hadn't felt in a long time. In a few days, she was ready to enter the operating room. Apprehension gripped her like a lingering shadow amidst hope. Enrico, if anything were to happen to me, take care of everything, she said, letting the weight of her worries shine through. Sylvia, don't say something like that. Everything will be fine. See you after the surgery, he replied, leaving a comforting kiss on her forehead. After a few hours, Sylvia woke up in the hospital room, feeling as if she had emerged from a long sleep. Sylvia, the surgery was a success. The tumor was removed. In a few days you will be going home, the doctor announced, bringing immense relief to an atmosphere filled with worry. And when will I be able to see again, doctor? She asked, eager for an answer that would dispel the darkness that had enveloped her for so long. As we discussed before, there is a possibility of recovery of vision, but it depends on how much the optic nerve has been affected. We will have to wait and monitor your progress, the doctor explained, tempering his words with caution and hope. Days passed, and every morning, before opening his eyes, he made a small, silent prayer, a fervent appeal that today could be the day in which at least a spark of light would penetrate the darkness of his sight. It was an intimate ritual, a desperate plea that resonated in his mind, a deep desire to glimpse the world he had lost. One night, Sylvia dreamed once again that she was in a garden filled with vibrant colors. Her grandmother Leah was there, but this time she seemed distant, as if she were beyond her reach. As much as Sylvia tried to reach her, Leah continued to move away before disappearing completely. Everything went well, dear. Go meet your beautiful flower, her grandmother said, the words resonating deeply in the girl's mind. She woke up with a start, and opening her eyes, she noticed something incredible. Even in the darkness of the room, she saw a light coming from the corridor. She was starting to see again. She looked for Enrico at her side in bed, but realized that he was not there. However, she knew exactly where to find him. She got up without hesitation, no longer needing to feel the walls for the path. Her eyes now took in the world around her. She followed it to the room next to hers. There was Enrico, and he was not alone. In his arms was Emma, the couple's little girl, born a few months after he had completely lost his sight. It was the first time she had seen her precious daughter's face. With tears of joy in her eyes, Sylvia took the baby girl into her arms. "My little bloom, how beautiful you are. You are so much brighter than I could have imagined," she whispered, feeling a wave of love and gratitude flood her heart. Enrico realized that he could see again. The family hugged each other that night, wrapped in emotion. Now Sylvia could see all the colors that her daughter brought into life, a precious gift that illuminated everything around.